All right, so I decided just to put this frankincense on the coffee warmer, which gets quite hot. If I were to touch this tin here, it would in fact burn my fingers. So it is getting very hot. The frankincense is glistening. And I tell you what, it smells fantastic here. I can see why this is such a cool rosin to use in wax. But I'm not sure it's going to boil down. So I also don't think it's actually going to work in this double boiler, even if I put it directly in that pan there. So what I'm thinking about doing is just going to the dollar store and getting a pan that I can ruin just by cooking it directly on the heat, similar to what Stash Salt did in their video, which was very cool, by the way. The other thing I'm thinking about doing is putting the pine rosin in with the frankincense. And by doing that, it would, I think it would heat up the frankincense more, but I think that the pine rosin would absorb the some of the resin from the frankincense and the scent, which would be very cool also. So I'm going to let this go for a little bit and see what happens before I give up on it. But then I'm going to put in that pine resin and play with that a little bit. So stay tuned. All right, so I think we've just about exhausted this option for melting down frankincense. And I think where I'm landing with this is I'm going to have to get a pan and cook it directly on the heat. We'll come back to this later, but I'm going to try option B now, which is taking my pine rosin and pouring some in there. Let's see if I can do that while I'm videoing. There we go, just like that. And I'm going to let that melt down and see if it infuses with the frankincense scent, and maybe even pick up some of the rosin from the frankincense. I'm going to come back to this, but I tell you what, it's in my garage now. It's just smelling amazing. So if I can get that scent into the wax, I know I can buy essential oil that's frankincense scented. But for now, let's see what we can do with this and have a little fun. I'll be right back. All right, so just a quick update. The pine rosin has melted down, and you can see that it's just kind of in there with the frankincense now. I'm actually going to let that, maybe steep would be the best word, steep in there for a couple hours. Just let that frankincense infuse. And then I may actually add some beeswax to that and see if we can't get a test batch number 2 out of that, and then somehow extract the frankincense out of that so that we just have the wax left. So that's kind of the goal for the day. We're going to let this go for a while, and I'll be back when we're ready. Take care. All right, so we're back to check on our frankincense, and you can see that is just really, that is looking fantastic. So we mixed the frankincense with the pine rosin, and so it is looking like soup. So we're going to actually convert this into a test batch number 2, and really what I want it to do is be more rosin based. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little beeswax there. I'm going to add some lanolin, a little less than I did last time, because I think that test batch 1 just ended up being a bit oily. So I want to do a little less of that. And we can throw in some of the carnauba wax. Again, just kind of mixing it up here. There we go. Now remember, the goal is to create a Superman wax. So we're going with the very strong, firm materials, just trying to see what works in terms of getting the right mix. So we're going to let that boil down, and then I'm going to add a little fragrance, and I think we'll be good to go. All right, so here is our final check on the frankincense mixture. As you recall, we added pine rosin to the frankincense, and then I also added some beeswax, lanolin, and carnauba wax. So what I'm going to have to do is transfer this to another tin to remove the frankincense. But before I do that, I think I'm going to put in this amber rum oil as a, okay, that was 3 drops. That's probably more than what I wanted, but I like it strong, so we'll see how it goes. I am, as you saw in my earlier video, I'm wearing test batch number 1 today, and layered with the Mustache High Desert, and it's just been an amazing scent today. I think this is going to be really good as well. So my challenge is how to get that wax there transferred to that tin. So we'll have to see how that goes. What I'm thinking about doing is just using the spatula and, you know, just putting it over it like that and then pouring it in. I won't be able to do that while I'm holding the camera though, so let me do that. There we go. Let me do that. I'll be right back. So I was able to pour out the liquid. You can see the frankincense crystals still in there. I'm going to let them boil down for a bit. Just keep cooking them, see what happens. But this is what I got. Doesn't that look good? That's kind of an amber color. Not dark, not light, but a little amber. So for sure it picked up that frankincense rosin, and likely some of the fragrance as well. So we're going to let that harden and dry up, and we'll give it a test probably tomorrow for test batch number 2. Thanks for joining me. We'll continue this journey together. Take care. God bless.